Hey everyone, it's Diego. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we have my favorite deck, Blurple, or Blueberry, as I like to call my personal build, versus Emerald Amethyst Discard. Please note that the Emerald Amethyst list you're seeing on screen is an updated list we later came up with after these test games. I think my friend might have just found his new favorite deck. Alright, game 1. We start off by drawing a Magic Broom, 2 Scrooge McDuck, Sail the Azurite Sea, 2 friends on the other side, and a Merlin Crab. We already got the ramp we want, and have our favorite character to play on turn 3, Scrooge McDuck. Let's just hope that maybe we can find another 1-drop to pair with the Sail of the Azurite Sea on turn 2. So we mulligan our duplicates, which were Scrooge and friends on the other side, and we return Crab. The reason being is that we didn't see Tipo, and we love pairing Tipo with Crab to get that extra value out of the Tipo. And since we know we're facing Emerald Discard, we want to be drawing with our 1-drops instead of using them to challenge. Also, I've seen that Emerald Amethyst Discard has been making quite the comeback recently, and it's looking pretty good. I tried it the other day, and I'm probably going to release a video playing it sometime soon. I ink a Crab, play the Magic Broom, and paso. My opponent inks Heffalumps and plays a Diablo, and discards Hypnotize to immediately shift onto Big Diablo and passes. I told my opponent here that he should have waited for turn 2 to shift Diablo, but you know, we live and we learn. He's testing out the deck for the first time, so he's learning with it as well. So here you see me, I'm trying to draw as much as possible, and it helps that Diablo is evasive, so I can't even help to worry about trying to challenge at all. So I'm just gonna quest it out, trigger effects, and draw. But I see that he plays the Turtle Box Follower, so I do need to take that out as soon as possible. My opponent readies up. Plays an Ursula, quest for 1 with the Diablo, quest for 2 with the Merfolk, and for 1 with the Diablo, and passes. I draw. I can turn the box followers. Scrooge will sing friends on the other side. I want to keep drawing against this deck, because the moment they leave you with no hand, it's pretty much GG's, because by then their board is pretty wide. I'll play a Crab, give Challenger +3 to Diablo, and take out the Merfolk. I discard a Snake, and I pass. Opponent readies up after they draw. They ink a Bruno. They play an Ursula. I have a Merlin Goat and a Madame Mim Fox in hand, so that Ursula is not discarding anything. My opponent has some friends on the other side with the Ursula, being able to sing it twice, and then they bounce it, preventing it from being challenged and taken out. And they just quest with everybody else and pass. So right here, I need to manage my opponent's board, because otherwise, like I said, they get too wide and they just keep discarding you to the point where you have no characters and they have a full board, and that's how they win. So I'm trying to put those big characters on the board and control their board at the same time and keep drawing. So this deck requires, I feel like, a lot of thinking by the opponent to try to survive. They sing Sudden Chill. I discarded my Goat, which was the last card in my hand. Now I have no hand, but at least my board is pretty healthy. Snake takes out Crab. I give Challenger to Diablo just for giggles. And they pass. Already up. Diablo's gonna go into Ursula. I need to draw to see something here. I draw into a Sail. I use the Sail. Draw a card. Anka Snake, play an Elsa, exert the Ursula. Ur Elsa takes out their Diablo. Scrooge takes out their Ursula in the back, and then I wipe out their whole board with the remaining Scrooge onto their Ursula, and then pass. So right now we're pretty happy with the game state, and we want to keep it that way. My opponent inks a Diablo. We don't talk about Bruno on one of my Scrooges, and since it's the only card, well, I had no hands, and then it became the only card in my hand, so I had to discard it. Then they play a Diablo, and I believe they passed. I just quested with both Scrooge and Elsa and passed back. My opponent plays an Ursula. They ink friends on the other side, and play a Morph. And a sudden chill, I discard my Let It Go. I was thinking about inking it, but I opted to take the risk of my opponent not having a discard card in their hand, and then I'd be able to play it next turn to take out one of their characters. In comes Belle, taking out the Morph. This is why we love Belle. Reaches cards that are ready in the back. And then comes down to Lyle. We hate to see it. We gotta take that out before we take anything else out because we do not want to lose lore. So in comes Elsa. We freeze both the Lyle and the Singing Ursula. And then I believe here we quest with the Elsa for 3 to put us ahead. And then Scrooge will take out Lyle. And Bill will take out the Ursula. We want to keep our opponent's board at a minimum. So Scrooge takes out Lyle and Belle takes out Singing Ursula. My opponent readies up. They play a Prince John, 2 Prince Johns. And then Rabbit takes out Scrooge. My opponent draws a card, and then they pass. I ready up, draw. I quest for a total of 5, putting me at 18 to my opponent's 9. We're feeling pretty good right now, and our characters are pretty big, and we don't really mind if they want to trade in their Prince Johns into our characters, or crash rather. My opponent plays a sudden chill. I discard a second Elsa that I had in my hand, unfortunately. But at this point, I don't think we'll need her. Yep, my opponent scoops it up, and Blurple takes game 1. If you're liking the content, please consider subscribing and dropping a like. It would help me greatly. Alright, game 2. We start off by drawing into a Hades, Elsa the 5th Spirit, Donald Duck, Scrooge, our favorite 3-drop, Madam M Fox, Madam M Snake, and a Merlin Rabbit. We found no 1-drop or ramp, so we mulligan our whole hand. Running a goat, 2 Diablos, Let It Go, Madam M Snake, Still the Azure IC, and a Tipo. We found our 1-drop and ramp cards, but unfortunately not the 4-drops we want to see. My opponent's on the play. He starts off by inking a Morph and playing Diablo. I reveal my whole hand. And then they pass. I already draw. I ink a Snake. And for 1, I play a Diablo. Diablo versus Diablo. My opponent inks an Ursula. Then for 1, they play a Merfolk. And then they shift onto Big Diablo, discarding the Hypnotize. And they quest for 1 and pass. I ready up, draw. Here I'm thinking I have Tipo and Still the Azure IC, and I'm thinking about which one to use because I know that the Tipo will help me take out the Merfolk, but yet the Still the Azure IC will draw me a card, which I really want to do against EmeraldAmethyst. So I opt to inking the Tipo, playing the Still the Azure IC, and now I have 2 Diablos on board with a card extra in my hand that I would have had if I would have had played the Tipo. My opponent plays Prince John. And then he quests for a total of 3 with the Merfolk and Diablo and passes. My opponent forgot to draw, so he drew for that there. I play a rabbit, draw a card, quest with the Diablo for 1, and pass. My opponent readies up, they draw, they ink, they play Ursula. Diablo takes out my Diablo, and then they quest for 2 with the Merfolk. And then they pass. I ink a Diablo for turn. Again, my opponent's board is pretty OP right now. I gotta find a way to try to break it. Rabbit's gonna sing Friends on the other side. I draw 2. I was considering taking out Merfolk with the rabbit, but my hand wasn't healthy enough for me to do that. So I just opted to sing with it instead. I bounce my rabbit with a fox, drawing a card, and then fox takes out Merfolk, and I discard a magic broom. And then for 2, play snake, bouncing fox, just so I can be able to reuse it, and I pass. My opponent readies up. Think of friends on the other side. Thinking about the most optimal play. For 5, they play We Don't Talk About Bruno, returning my snake, to the hand. And my hand is pretty healthy at this point. I drop a Let It Go, and then singing Ursula sings Friends on the Other Side, drawing my opponent a total of 4 cards. That's pretty good. I wonder who has the bigger side here. I mean, it looks like my opponent does. Look at that stack. Diablo's gonna quest for 1, and Prince John is gonna safely quest for 2, since I don't have any characters that are threatening it at the moment. I ink a Diablo, and to be honest, that's really the only time you want to be questing with Prince John. You know, you don't want to. You really don't want to quest with him while I have a character in play, or challenge him, because he's really your big draw engine of the deck. Him and Diablo. I'll play a Scrooge for 4. And then I pass. Yeah, this game is not going well for me. My opponent inks Friends on the Other Side. He flipped it back up again just because I told him that he should get into the habit of, when he inks, leave the card face up until the end of the turn, because that way we can remember if we have inked that turn or not, which is pretty good practice. And I believe that's like the official ruling now, that you have to leave the cards face up until the end of your turn. I'm not really sure, but I think so. Then he plays the scary Lyle. We definitely want to take it out as soon as possible before any of the other characters, that way we don't lose lore. But at this point, I'm not sure if we have Elsa in hand or Let It Go or anything of that matter, so we're just gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna quest for a total of 3. I think their hand is big enough where they're okay with questing with Prince John while I have Scrooge on board. Yep, there we go. I Let It Go the Lyle, that way I don't lose any more lore. Then Scrooge takes out the Prince John, taking 1 damage, and I pass. My opponent readies up. Think of Heffalumps. And they shift into the big Ursula. This Ursula is a monster. To be honest here, if I was him, I would just quest it out. Quest for 6, stay at 17 to my 2. Sounds pretty good. They opt to sing Friends on the Other Side for that double draw, drawing 4 cards. But then I believe I think they took it back. And they decided to just quest instead. Yeah. Yep, that's what they did. And they shift onto Diablo. And they play Friends on the Other Side. Yeah, I believe I told them that why not just quest when they're so close, you know, considering my board. Like, the point is to gain lore to get to 20. Hand advantage doesn't really matter here because I'm so far behind. So Scrooge takes out Ursula with the help of Crab, and then comes in Fox. Then here I just scoop it up because there's no way I'm gonna catch up. Emerald Amethyst takes game 2. Alright, we're at the final game, game 3. I start off by drawing into a Sell the Azurite Sea, Tipo, also the 5th Spirit, Friends on the Other Side, Scrooge, Merlin Goat, and a Merlin Rabbit. I really need to find a 1-drop, so I decide to mulligan 5 cards, leaving me only with Sell the Azurite Sea and also the 5th Spirit. I want to be able to take out any evasive Diablo as soon as possible, and we end up drawing into a Crab, Magic Broom, Hades, another Sell of the Azurite Sea, Merlin Rabbit. I'm actually feeling really good about this hand. Alright, we're gonna pass our decks to each other. I'm gonna ink a Sell the Azurite Sea, play a Magic Broom. That Sell the Azurite Sea was the duplicate, by the way. My opponent plays a Diablo and passes. I ink a Crab. For 2, I play Sell the Azurite Sea. I quest for 1 with the Magic Broom. I ink a Fox, and we found another Magic Broom. Nice, getting that draw off our previous Magic Broom, and then we pass. My opponent inks a Diablo, and then for 2 plays Ursula. I reveal my hand, but I have no songs. Thank goodness. Magic Broom is going to take out Diablo. I want to keep their board in check and make sure that they don't easily shift into Big Diablo. I play Rabbit, triggering Magic Broom's ability and Rabbit's ability to draw twice. And they pass. My opponent inks a Sudden Chill. Why did he ink Sudden Chill? I would have sung Sudden Chill with Ursula and played Big Ursula. Not sure there. I ink a Diablo after playing Friends on the Other Side with Rabbit. And I play a Let It Go onto the singing Ursula. I definitely don't want him singing twice or playing any of the songs twice, because that could lead to the advantage and it could be game shifting. Gonna play a Merfolk, another singing Ursula, and quest for 1 with 2-cost Ursula. I play another Let It Go onto the singing Ursula. Then Rabbit will just quest for 1. Yeah, sometimes for some reason I think that 2-cost Ursula has 2 willpower, and I make the mistake into challenging into it with a 2-strength character, leaving it on the board, and I'm like, oh well, I should have quested. My opponent plays Prince John, and then he quests for a total of 3 with Merfolk and Ursula, and then he plays Madam Snake to bounce the Ursula, which is smart because then he can play it on his following turn and get rid of any songs in my hand. Rabbit here is going to challenge Merfolk. I discarded a Crab. I'm going to play another Rabbit, draw. Then I play a Snake, bouncing Rabbits, draw again. You want to keep a very healthy hand while we're up against EmeraldAmethyst Discard, because the moment we have no hand, we lose the game. My opponent's gonna play Friends on the Other Side, hardcast it. You hate to see that. They play one drop Diablo, one cost Diablo. The Ink and Ursula. And play a sudden chill. I discard a rabbit. And then they finish off by playing a Cursed Merfolk and questing for one with the snake and pass. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to trade with snake. Yup. They're already ahead of me by 5 lore, so I don't want them questing too much. Elsa exerts Chernobog's, Cursed Merfolk. And takes it out. I discard the goat. Quest for one with the rabbit and pass. My opponent inks a Singing Ursula. I feel pretty good with also the 5th Spirit here because of the evasiveness. If he decides to play a Diablo, I can just take it out once he shifts it. Alright, Crab is gonna boost Diablo, trading into my rabbit. We both draw. And then he plays a fox, bouncing the crab. And then he plays a 2-cost Diablo and passes. To be honest, I think too many people are sleeping on Blurple this format. It has so many tools to deal with key cards your opponent might play, and the best part of all is that characters like Hades and the Elsas can be bounced back to the hand to be reused once or twice again at least. So with a good pilot, it can be very disruptive to the meta decks this format. But that's just my hot take, and please take it with a grain of salt, whatever that means. So I sing Friends on the other side with Elsa, drawing 2 cards, and then I play a goat and a rabbit to draw and to gain 1 lore. Then I pass. My opponent hard casts Friends on the other side, drawing 2 cards. Hate to see it. This Diablo can challenge my Elsa because they are both evasive. So if he has Crab, he can take out my Elsa. Yup, he has Crab, gives it to Diablo, and then we trade. My opponent plays an Ursula. Again, I do not have any songs in my hand, but I have 3 very scary cards in my hand. So now that my opponent knows, he knows what's coming. Rabbit takes out Prince John. Goat sings Friends on the other side. I draw 2. I ink a Tipo. And then I play Elsa, the Spirit of Winter, exerting Fox and Crab. I want to keep my goat and my rabbit safe for now, so we'll be able to catch up in terms of lore. My opponent plays a Diablo and then plays a Lyle. Here he can crash Ursula into one of my characters, well, only into my goat if he wants me to lose a lore. But he opts to just quest for 1, which is the smart thing to do because he's already ahead, and passes. I ready up, draw. Fox and Crab are still exerted thanks to Elsa's Deep Freeze ability. I'm gonna play Hades onto the Lyle. Good riddance. I need to disarm this board. As much as I want to quest, but I have to think exactly how to do it. I believe Goat will have to challenge Ursula, keeping him alive. And then also the 5th Spirit will have to take out either Crab or Madam Mim. But I think the smart thing to do here would be Elsa take out Crab, just so Crab doesn't crash into something, power up something else, and take out the Elsa, or take out anything else. Because if Crab crashes and gets taken out or gets bounced, it can be pretty devastating, giving another character +3 challenger. So Goat here takes out the Ursula. I take 1 damage. Whenever you can challenge into a character and have your character survive, it's always good, because then your opponent has to worry about your side of the board now if you end up with more characters than they do after the series of challenges. Yep, and I opt to take out the Crab with Elsa because I know that she'll survive the challenge, and that leaves me with more bodies on the board than my opponent. And then I bounce the Rabbit with Snake to draw a card, and I pass. Yeah, I didn't want my Rabbit to be taken out for free by that Fox, so I bounced it instead. I reveal my hand. Not sure why I revealed it that way. I thought maybe the camera would see it. So yeah, here the Diablo with the Challenger takes out my also the Spirit of Winter. That was a good trade by my opponent. Quest for 1 with the Fox, putting him to 12 to my 5. Then bounces the Fox with Snake, and then plays Fox once again and the Diablo. I reveal my hand again. This time you can see it, not at a weird angle. Then my opponent passes. I ready up, draw. Here I believe I have another Elsa in my hand. Yep. Play the Elsa, exert both Fox and Snake. They're bigger, much bigger threats than the Diablo is. And then I just quest up to 9 to my opponent's 12. My opponent plays a Cursed Merfolk and shifts Diablo. So we both draw for turn. And Katipo. My opponent is really close to lethal here, so I think I want to quest, meanwhile also taking out some characters. Definitely want to quest with that Elsa though. That 3 jump is pretty good. Yeah, so I can only challenge 2 characters of theirs, so I think I'm gonna just quest with Elsa and the Hades to maximize on that lore gain. So we quest with the Goat for 1, Hades for 2, Snake for 1, and Elsa for 3. We ended up questing with everybody, leaving our opponent's characters alive and well. So then Elsa comes in, surprise, surprise, exerts the Merfolk. And now the question is, do we take out the Diablo or the Cursed Merfolk? If we take out the Diablo, then we might prevent. Yeah, I think the Diablo is the way to go with its evasive. Because either way, our opponent will only have 4 to quest with, putting him at 17. Meanwhile here, yep, we have enough, and we take the match. Blurple comes out with the dub. Once again, if you like the content, please sub to the channel and drop a like. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Happy questing.